change the privacy so that it can be shared on my Facebook page. Ow, my foot hurts. Hello, 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 good people. How art thou? I am on my way to Florida Flex. The signal may get wonky. I don't even know how this picture comes off to you guys. This is a live video, a little impromptu. I shared this. Don't know why I shared it in so many places because I actually didn't plan on leaving this up because I know that the quality of it, especially once I get into the Hialeah type area, the signal is going to be like Who Shot John? I already know. But wanted to kind of come on. Y'all know I like to come on and chit chat, and I like being live when I'm out and about. So yeah, so I had to go live. As I'm going to Florida Flex, I got to go pick up some DTF prints for some shirts I have to do. I got some temporary, like some shirts that I got from some polos from Amazon because my order won't be here until Monday, Tuesday, somewhere in there. So I have some shirts and stuff that I have to do, and then from me posting those, I'm actually going to have to end up doing some more because another teacher contacted me about having some basically like uniform type shirts made. So I know I'm going to have to do this again. I promise you, sometimes it can, it like things will come in like back to back, like immediately, like as soon as I post something, whatever, and it for a quick second makes you want to invest in equipment that you don't need. Like I know that I don't need a DTF printer. Sometimes is it kind of like, hectic or a little bit annoying because I have to design it, make sure that I submit it, within a certain time frame so that they can make them. Then it's like having to go pick them up versus it being like right there, or having enough time where things can be delivered. Going to go pick things up sometimes it's very ghetto, very, very ghetto. Having to do all this driving around, especially in Miami traffic. It's no fun. So it's like, it gives you this, I'm over this kind of deal. And it, for one split second, I think about a DTF printer, but no, I definitely don't need one of those. Like I said, eventually we'll get the DTG, but it's like, I don't know. DTG has its benefits in being able to print directly onto the garment, but you also have to, don't get hit, baby. Please don't get hit. You have to pre-treat your garments, and then there's different pre-treats for blended shirts versus rung spun shirts and all these different things. But direct to garment, for certain designs, if you're printing it directly on there, you do get a slightly different and better result than using DTF. So yeah, it's kind of a toss up as far as like which one to do. But anywho, at any rate, I am going to go pick up my DTF prints. It just makes it really convenient. DTF, I will say, that is something that came onto the scene, and it really is game changing. I absolutely love screen print transfers, but being able to do full color transfers in the same manner, absolutely amazing. What they say, chef kiss, absolutely amazing. So anywho, how are you guys doing? That was kind of my my little spiel to get the algorithm going, get you guys on. Hello, everyone. I am Shakia, the professor of HSE 365. We are the home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products. We carry the absolute best sublimation paper and ink. If you haven't checked out some of the pictures over on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, check out some of those posts. I'm always posting results with our products because we do still have a print shop and we're using our products for different things. So definitely check that out. We are also the home of 365 Creative Academy, where I help you to unlock your creativity in a wide variety of classes. And that is what this video is for. So, as the title says, honesty is the best policy. This is this is a sales pitch. This is advertising. I'm in a business. Most of you guys on here are we're not just buddy. I knew you in high school. You're my neighbor, sister, cousin, friend, uncle, da da da. Like, it's not a lot of social for me on here. I mean, I socialize, but I socialize with people who need what I have to offer. So this is like an extension of my business platform. And there's no sense in oh, okay, sir. There's no sense in beating around the bush, we have products, we have services, we have classes, and in order for people to know what we have, what we have to offer, there's people who watch me almost every single day, and they may catch me if I'm doing a silhouette tutorial, and they've commented they never knew that I sold ink and paper and things like that. Or there are people who know that I sell ink and paper but didn't know that I had classes, didn't know about Silhouette Studio and how you can use that as a graphic designing software. There are people that didn't know that we have a print shop. And that we can print out we do small orders we don't do major orders, but if you want like small orders of like decals, yard signs, and things of that nature, we can definitely accommodate when it comes to that, because we do have an eco-solvent printer. But we know the limitations of the printer that we have, so we keep it real simple, real small. We don't do any crazy orders. We're not a wholesaler for that. We're not a major manufacturer for those. Or vendor for like large orders. I don't take on large orders, but we do offer those services for those who need eco-solvent decals. I prefer adhesive decals. I prefer not to really do the HTV ones, but hey, we do that. Okay, I always forget because they moved, and I always forget, is it this street or the next street? I want to say it's this street that I have to turn on. I'm always getting confused. Yes, it's this one. But yeah, so I'm here to talk about our products, our classes that we have available, how they can be beneficial to you, what you're going to learn from those classes. Do y'all want to go? I don't know if it'll work. I think the last time I tried to go into Florida Flex, the video went kind of wonky. So I can take you guys in there, but it may not be that great. I'm just going ahead and pick up my order, and I'm going to be out. Chicken biscuit's so good. All right. It's always so pretty in here. This is the goal one day for HSE. Oh, y'all have that one going too. Hello, pickup. It's either under Elite or it's under HSE. I forget which one. It's a DTF print. I mean, yeah. I didn't know y'all use the one that's out here, the smaller run too. No. Yep. Thank you ever so kindly. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, those colors are a little off. Ooh, that green is off. All right, I gotta check that when I get to the house. Thank you. I gotta check this. This green looks a little off. Ow, my knee. How is the video and the audio for you guys? Haha, they've gotten smart. They've now put parchment paper in there. What the heck? Where's my glasses? Excuse me? Oh no, the green. Okay, I know I'm not crazy. The color started to mess up. I'm like, I know I ain't crazy, Hoppo. I'm like, one thing your girl knows how to do some colors. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about. Uh-oh. Sorry, wrong one. So I'm not sure if you guys can see. The color here. And I gotta figure, I have no idea why these same glasses were on my worms. I have no idea why they're not there. But if you look there, and then look at that. So something funky happened along the way. Don't know what it is, but something funky happened, and I need that print. So I'll come back for it, but I definitely need that. Uh-oh. Hi, Mom. I'm good. Hey. I may have made that one slightly too big. I may have miscalculated ever so slightly. Yeah, that one's fine. I love anything with primary colors. I see primary colors on that print over there. See, I love primary colors. They pop so much.
I love this process. I'm looking at the machine. I'm like,
I know. I was just saying that on my live video. I was like, it makes you want to be able to just have it and do it at home to not have to waste gas to drive. But it's like I just cannot. Oh wow. Ah yeah, you definitely do.
but I'm thinking about, I'm praying on that one.
Uh-huh.
I'm praying a little longer.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And that's my whole thing is, I mean, it's great, but I do more of like other things than just that. Like if it was kind of exclusive to that, I mean, it would be worth it, but it's so many things that I do that I see Silhouette. You have a Cameo? I am Silhouaholics Anonymous on YouTube. I teach Silhouette. Oh, I still love vinyl. Yes, I got my Cameo originally for paper though, but I'm still a vinyl. I am still team vinyl all day, every day. Silhouaholics Anonymous. Uh-huh.
Okay, perfect.
You're welcome.
I'm talking to another guy. He's I just started following him like a few days ago. Absolutely, he's on stream. Love this man's
Yeah, I don't do screen print, but I've set up designs in Silhouette to do screen print transfers, but you can do the same thing as far as like setting it up so that you can set up the screens. And I've done like the poor man's screen printing where you cut it from the vinyl and then you just put it on the screen and do it that way. I've done it that way too. Yeah, just not for anything that's detailed. So something must have happened. If you look here and then here, so something started happening with the color. I mean, I don't need it like right now. It has to be right. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be like right now, because it's just technically t-shirt. I mean, I can always or if anything, I mean, I know I have another order that I have to do. I'll see. So maybe I could just put that, I mean, on there, and maybe, I don't know how that'll work, but yeah, this one I definitely need. And I got to figure out what's going on. I got to go look at the original because for some reason, he has glasses just like this, and they're not on there. Yeah, so I'm going to look at the file that was submitted and see, and then I'll email Anna to let her know because I don't know what happened with that. Because yeah, this definitely has glasses just like his. So, okay. Yeah, one of them, because yeah, that is 4 shirts. Hi, I'm good. And yeah, that. So I don't know what happened. I think the color started to mess up because it's this and it's just duplicated. This one just doesn't have the worm on it, and it started doing this. Oh, well, you're gonna want to keep this. Oh, I have to do the rest of them. I have to do now. Okay. Okay. Let's take a picture. Let me take a picture. So what is the green? It's supposed to be this. Because
missing the worm.
No, this worm. That's why I said. That's why I realized it was different. This one has the worm. This one doesn't. It's 2 different prints. But I don't know. For some reason, my worms don't have their glasses on, which is kind of. Oh, so wait, they're there. I don't know what's happened. So you can kind of somewhat see the outline of the glasses, but for some reason, the glasses aren't printing. But I can see the glasses outline for some reason. They just didn't print.
Yeah, but like the printer just prints.
Okay.
Whatever.
As I said, I'll check the file. As I said, I'll check the file. But yeah, for some reason his glasses didn't print.
I'll have her open the file. This is this.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be that. And then the glasses. I'll have her check open the file and check.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. Good. He is in kindergarten now. Yes. He's actually loving big boy school. So, yes. It's amazing. That's how long I've been coming here. Like even before I was pregnant. So they know everything from my pregnancy. I brought them here. They were like family when I was pregnant. Alrighty. Had to take care of a little bit of business. You just gotta communicate. I know they're good people, so I don't necessarily get upset. But yeah, that one I definitely cannot use. All right, so and then also you guys got to kind of see firsthand, right? Like you can't be afraid to talk about your business and what it is that you do. So for me, seeing in her bag that she had, it was something. I'm not sure what it was, but it was one. It was one of Silhouette's products. So I saw that, picked up on it. Hey, do you use Silhouette? You know, we have a channel because she could have been like, screen printing, but I teach. At the end of the day, Silhouette Studio is just a design software. So you're able to do different things with it. I mean, and then of course, because she had a material that needs to be cut, I know that she has the machine. So just a quick, simple, hey, just follow me on, subscribe to me on YouTube, find me on YouTube, and then that will lead to other things. But it's just that ability to pick up on those items, like those things. So even if you are out and about, you're in a store, you may see someone, and let's say you're in Walmart and it's a mom and she's with her kids, whatever, and they happen to have on their practice uniform, or they stopped at Walmart to get snacks because they have, today is Saturday, it's a football game. So they stopped to get snacks or whatever for the football game. And you notice it, you can, compliment them on or mention something about the sports team and stuff like that. And then just kind of like, not to necessarily be salesy with it, but just kind of just say, oh yeah, I do a lot of custom work, like family t-shirts and tumblers and things like that for a couple of my clients have kids that are on teams, and I make shirts for them all the time. I make X, Y, and Z, and just kind of leave it at that. Like, right, I didn't go and say, follow me or whatever. I just said, yeah, I'm Sillaholics Anonymous on YouTube. I teach or whatever. And she's the one that asked, oh, well, write that down for me. You don't have to be totally and completely like come out and say, hey, this is what I do. This is where you're going to go. This, like, it's for sale. Like, I didn't mention a class or anything. So that was just impromptu. Like, I'm telling y'all, I just might be one of God's favorite children. I mean, he loves us all. But when things be thinking and falling into place, it is absolutely a beautiful thing. Because, I mean, here I am where it says honesty is the best policy. And, this is a sales pitch. There are times where you're going to have those moments where it's straight up, hey, this is what it is. This is who I am. This is what the offer is. Do you want to purchase? Do you want to enroll? Do you want to do X, Y, and Z? There are going to be times where there's going to be straight up direct sales pitches. And then there, where you're going and you're giving full on detail about who you are, what the products are, how it can benefit you, what's the what's going to be the pros and advantages and stuff like that. And then there are the times where just being able to effectively communicate who you are, what it is that you do, drop a little nugget, just have conversation, and it can lead to where people will become more aware of you. So that's kind of like the flip side of this. And look at how God worked that thing out to where that situation happened like that. I'm telling y'all, I'm starting to really think Jesus really loves me. God loves me, okay? I am Jesus' favorite little sister. I am God's favorite child because he be doing the thing, okay? He be making ways, all right? I love the Lord. He be doing his thing. But anyhow, let's talk about, honestly speaking, let's talk about HSE 365 and the products and services that we offer. Okay, who here already knows about our products, our services, and or which ones do you know about? Because like I said, there's some people that know about one side, they don't know about the other, or they don't know, like they may think about like Silhouette and it's like they've always seen me use, like I said, I'm team vinyl all day every day. I love vinyl till this day, still love vinyl. So I'm going to be team vinyl all day every day. But you have those who don't know that you can use it even if you don't have a Silhouette machine. Like if you're doing DTF, you're doing screen print transfers. If you're doing screen print, you want to set up for white toner prints. You want to set up for DTV, Jet Pro 3G. You want to set up for I made the crowns for sublimation. It's just, the possibilities are endless in what you can do, because you have to look at it as just a design software. It's great for beginners to get used to because it is free. You don't have to pay monthly for it like Adobe Illustrator. Affinity isn't too bad. Actually, Affinity would technically be less than getting the business edition of Silhouette Studio. But it's, you can start off for free and you can do so much in the free version of Silhouette Studio. And I found the program about 10 years ago, worked on it, really saw that it can do, what my Illustrator and my Corel Draw was doing for me. And I decided to share it with others. Like I was in, as a crafter, just as a creator, just being in groups with like-minded people. It was never really about business. I think that on the business side, or people wanting to make money from this, it's become more prevalent in the past couple of years. Like we've been heavy on our turn your passion into a profit type deal when it comes to all the crafting stuff over like the past, I would say maybe four or 5 years. When I first started, I kind of came into this where I was doing it, I had things that I was doing for business, but just being in the groups weren't heavy on, hey, how much do I price this for? It was like just about learning different techniques. Now it just seems everybody is in it for a quick buck or whatever. So I kind of came across this software. I'm like, yo, this is kind of dope. Like I can do some of the same things, and some tasks were a lot easier in this craft software compared to the commercialized one. And I have been teaching and helping others learn this and come to appreciate Silhouette Studio with no backing from Silhouette America. This is not sponsored. They don't pay me to say this. I am not on here to where someone sent me a cameo, gave me the program for free, like the upgrade for free. No, I paid for it with my own money. But I know the struggles of others, and it can get very pricey. it can be very overwhelming. It can be very intimidating with some of these other softwares. And we will look at them and think, you'll see people do stuff. Oh yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And if you're in it to learn it, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with learning the more robust softwares, but a lot of times those who are learning those aren't doing a whole lot of other things to where it's harder to concentrate on it. You have the stress of wanting to make products that are sellable and marketable. That's how I learned Photoshop. Like, I learned it just to learn it. And it's like, to me, learning Silhouette Studio allows you to learn a software where you can pick up on things fairly easily and also monetize it, in a short period of time. But there's so much that you can do with it. I just wanted to share, that you can do a lot with this software, and you don't have to go straight to the Photoshops, the illustrators, because to be honest, some of you guys are going to continue to be frustrated with this process because you really aren't ready. Like, you're not going into Photoshop to truly learn the tools and know what their benefits are, where they're located at, what happens if you do this click, or you're going into it really kind of like my girl Shannon over at Innate Labs. Some of you guys will excel and do great in Photoshop if things are already kind of laid out for you and you have templates where you're just changing maybe the fonts, changing the colors, adding pictures. But using it from scratch, you got to go back to scratch. You got to go back to square one. I find that a lot of people don't want to do that. But something like Silhouette Studio, I think that it creates a situation, or creates an environment where it's okay to go back to square one and really learn it from the beginning. And that is what I teach. Like, I know that if I, promote it, go big, go home, I probably would have more people who are interested. Some people see learning from the beginning and learning the basics as taking too long. I don't want to wait years to learn this. Like, I need a class that's going to show me how to do this, how to make these designs, how to make these products to where I can make money now. I cannot guarantee you that. I cannot offer that to you. We do have certain design classes for those who have gotten past the beginning, like they have somewhat of an understanding of not just graphic designing, but have an understanding of the software. And I like to teach it where, hey, let's just figure out what subtract does. This is how it works. These are the million different ways that it will work, so that when you put it in a design, it makes sense and you'll be able to identify, okay, wait, whoa, that's not what I wanted it to do. Instead of freaking out and doing all this undo, or you're spending way too much time, you still haven't figured out the answer. I want creatives to know how to troubleshoot for themselves, how to design for themselves, find their own design voice. But that starts with learning the basics. I cannot stress enough. I have students who have taken this class who said they've been using it longer than me. Like, they got it out. They got the machine as soon as that sucker came out. Like, I was a little bit behind, but some people were like, they're 12 years in with having the Silhouette system, and they still don't understand half of the tools. Now, I will say that a lot of the tools that they have now were not a part of the original. Like, over time, we've seen the growth of Silhouette Studio from the tools that it had before and the interface of it, and it's just grown and grown and grown and grown and grown and grown and grown. It just keeps elevating to where it includes more and more elements from the more commercialized software every single update. Now, I feel like with those updates, sometimes the software itself can be a little wonky, but they have added a lot of things that make the software just amazing. And like I said, I teach it from a standpoint of it's not just the program for the cutting machine. Whether you have a Silhouette machine, if you have a Cricut machine, if you have any commercialized machine, if you don't have a machine at all and all you have is a printer, there are things that you can do in Silhouette Studio that, I mean, some of these other craft ones just don't offer. Like, I've created logos because you can manipulate things and change your nodes, and you can do subtraction and welding and intersecting and dividing. You can, add shadows, change transparencies, add patterns. Like I said, I've created logos. Like, you can literally draw out. There is a freehand tool. So if you have a mouse, you can actually, draw out some things. You can trace some things. So even if you kind of like sketch some things out, go over with a black marker, scan that, or take a picture, bring it in, like, you can use the trace feature to at least get the outline, and then fix it up. So many things you can do in this software. So I push it because the very thing that you want to do, it's available to you. You just have to be willing to learn it. You got to be willing to learn it, and learn it from the beginning. I had someone ask a question the other day: how do I maintain, like, how do I know all of this information? Like, I'm full of so much information, so many resources, but this did not happen overnight, guys. Like, I am not going to be the person that tells you, okay, well, decide to start an LLC, start a business, get your LLC, get this printer, get this whatever, and you're gonna make millions. You're gonna be, you're gonna have six figures, low six figures, high six figures, mid six figures. You're gonna be a millionaire. Like, I'm not gonna be the person to tell you that, because this doesn't happen overnight. Especially as a creative, like, new things come out all right. You'll see stuff every single week when it comes. But it's not strong enough to where it would make it all wonky. Good morning from coastal Georgia. I have received my whole set of sketch pens and adapters for my Cameo 4. Haven't used them yet. So I will say, I am not one who does everything that, like, all of the capabilities it has. I've tried the whole sketch pen thing, right? That's not the type of art that I personally do. It still follows like it's going to cut. It doesn't fill anything in. So I'm not one that's really like a big line art type person. I think the one time that I did use those, it was someone who wanted, I think it was like labeling, what's those things? Envelopes with like the metallic gel type pen things, whatever. Then you have to find a specific font that is a line font, because if it's something that is thicker, it's going to do the outlines. It's going to have the middle open. So it's not like a printer that's going to print and fill it in. And then there was the one that's, the suggestion and the design tip or hack or trick to do a bunch of internal offsets to fill it in. Now with marker, it's a little bit different because the marker, once it puts the ink down, it's going to kind of fill it in. But with sketch pens, like, it's still going to be thin lines. So you would have to do a whole bunch of them really close together. And that's going to take forever because it's literally going to follow that path 100 times just on one letter. So I never got into the sketching because ideally that is something that is meant for line art. And I'm not necessarily a line art type of person. Silhouette will sell a bunch of different ones. Like, they have a bunch of different, and see, people buy them. Oh, they were on sale at Silhouette America. So they were on sale, but did you have an idea in mind of exactly how you were going to use them? Did you see the pros in it? Like, what was the benefit of it for you? To where you still haven't used them, right? So did we buy them just because they were on sale? Not really knowing that it wasn't going to fill it in. I've had that question. I've had people inbox us, email us, write on a video about the sketch pens. Oh, well, how can I fill this in? Or why is it giving me the outline? It's solid. And there's like, oh, it's showing solid on the screen, but it's giving me the outline, because that's how sketch pens work. It's just replacing a blade with the pen. So it's still going to follow it. It's going to still be an outline. Some people did not realize that because all they kind of see it. Oh my gosh, I think I better go inside. We'll see this one-sided part of it, and we jump on it and not really like watch a couple more videos, look for the good, the bad, the ugly, looking for all the information before we kind of jump on it. So you said, I plan to use them to create greeting cards. So when you got them, did you know that you could not use a regular font and that you had to find a specific type of font, which is called a line font, where it can follow that line and then you don't see gaps? Then, was it that with the greeting cards, you wanted to use colored cardstock? Because then I always ask the question of people when they say they want to use it for greeting cards, why not print it? What would the pens have given you differently than just simply printing it out? Unless you were doing colored cardstock, that would be different for your greeting cards. But if it was just white cardstock, what would be the difference in printing it versus waiting that long time for it to go and literally write out every single letter? Oh man, y'all are quiet on me today. Only one person, Jesse, which Jesse's always rocking with me to let me know that you know me for everything. But yeah, like I said, today we're gonna, I want to just kind of go over the 30-day training. It's a great value, guys. It's on sale right now. It is 30 days of instruction and seeing how the tools work, and then having 5 days, and some of the days it's like double days. Like, we did 2 sessions on those days. So it's so many sessions on how to use the software, how to use it for designing, learning the tools and functions. I can't stress enough, even if you think that you know it, if you're subscribed to 15 to 20 different channels, you're going to get a bunch of different information. It can cause a lot of confusion when you have one person showing it one way. And I'm not saying that one person does it the best way, like their way, it's like their way or the highway. But when you are learning something, it is best to at least set the foundation from one perspective. And as you get an understanding, or let's say you try it and it's just really not, like, it's just not clicking, then maybe go to someone else. But I get questions all the time. Oh, well, or I get comments. Well, on this channel, they did it this way. I cannot tell you why somebody on another channel did something a certain way. I know for me, for certain things, I try to like repeat. It's like for those who finally been with me for a while, it's like, oh, I've seen these videos. So I have people who are brand new to me. So I try to keep doing the same thing over and over again. I have so many tracing videos. It's crazy, right? I have so many videos where I've used offset and I've used fonts. And then we also have the classes. But you have to you have to keep reinforcing and reinforcing and reinforcing the teachings. So that's what the fall session is for, right? So she says, I love the 30-day training. I would even pay for a live refresher. We're actually going, that's why I'm actually here at the office. Check your emails. I'm going to send out an email. I'm going to probably be here probably just for an hour or so. Because that's just, it's going to pour down raining. But I want to kind of come on and just, I wasn't sure if we should do like subtract or compound path or tracing, but I'm going to do like a soft run of a refresher because that's what we're going to do in the fall. I went back and forth. I cannot teach that in 30 days straight ever again. That was the hardest 30 days of my life. The hardest 30 days, like literally 30 days straight. So it wasn't over the course of 30 days spread out across 2 months, 3 months, whatever. It was 30 days straight every single day, no matter how I felt that day. I had to put on a happy face and get on there. Never doing that again. But I hear you guys. I hear you. And there are some who are saying, I have it, but I let life distract me. And if I don't have like this set schedule to say, I need to be here at this time on this day to take this, I will, like, I'm going to be honest, I'm not making time for it. And I hear you guys. And although I'm like, for me, I'm like, it's here, like it's the class is there. You just have to watch it. Some people still want that hands-on, they want that refresher, they want that live refresher. And for those who are able to attend it live, hey, it's going to be great. We are working that back into the fall season for a live refresher spread out over a couple of weeks of Silhouette Studio. This is going to be different from the bachelor's, master's, and doctorate programs. Then we also have things that are going to be dedicated for those who want to learn t-shirts. We're going to have things that are dedicated for business. I get it. For some of you, it's like, I want to do it all. What program offers it all? I'm not saying that, or trying to dictate how you learn, but I know the frustrations that I have when I have students who are all over the place. They didn't start off in like one direction. It's like, okay, let me kind of learn this. Those who want to be in everything, learn in everything, they have this FOMO, fear of missing out. It can be very frustrating for me because it's like, okay, wait, we just went over this. Now we're doing it for something different. And it seems like it's like the connection isn't being made. So I am doing what I'm doing to, hopefully encourage those who want to learn to slow it down, choose one program and stick with that one. And then when the next time they come around, then you can join the next one. Guys, there's no rule. That's nothing that says that you have to master this and you have to be great at this. And you're in your first month. You're in your first 60 days. Your first 6 months. You're in your first year. You're in the first 2 years. You can be 5 years into this. But if your 5 years was filled with not just focusing on learning graphic design. I'm trying to learn graphic design. I want to do resin. I want to do sublimation. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm trying to figure out business, figure out my LLC, figure out my marketing. those 5 years, you've packed so much into it to where you really haven't learned or retained anything. You haven't mastered anything. I am about helping you to master the skills that you are going to need to be successful in the long run. I know tomorrow is not promised to us. You rather try and get it now. We have this thing of, leaving generational wealth. I am one where I'm gonna tell you now, I get it, but I don't get it, right? I want to be able to live now where it's not a struggle for my family. I would like to know that bills are going to get paid. There's no question of whether or not our lights are going to get cut off, and being able to buy food, buy school supplies, get my kids the shoes that they want, the things that I'm able to work for now, and like their children, and they can get the things that they need, right? But I'm also not that parent that's like, I want to work my butt off so they can be lazy, because they're going to have, an inheritance, and they're going to feel like they don't have to do, much of anything. They can be out here a while and out. They don't understand that you're going to have to work, whether you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to go work on someone's job or whatever. I want to be able to give them the skills and the resources to be self-sufficient and to make and produce and generate their own money. Maybe something is, like having a home that's always a family home. I'm all for that, being able to pay it off, but once even like my children, I've come to realize that even if I pay my house off and I make that available for my children, I can leave them an inheritance. The way that the world is set up and how the prices keep going up and going up and going up, the money that I may leave them now, in a couple years, child, that might only last them a month. So they have to understand how to continue to build on that wealth. And to me, that's more knowledge than it is money. If, so I'm not necessarily like too big on that. There's so many people who are so big on this, getting rich or getting wealthy and building generational wealth, like getting caught up in this whole cryptocurrency and this digital money. They lock themselves out. Now all this money is lost, and there was the whole scheme of things. Like, there's a lot of ways to lose money. I can only live and do things for while I'm living, because I don't know what my family, what my kids will do once I'm gone with whatever I leave them. If they don't do what they're supposed to do, they don't pay the taxes on the house, they'll lose the house. They don't pay the insurance on the house, something happens to the house, they don't get it back. So it's for me to teach them those life skills, not just to provide them money. I do what I do now because we have bills in the now. I can't think about the future. I just had a heart attack at 42. I can't think about the future and money that's going to be used in the future for kids and stuff like that or whatever. What if my boys never have kids of their own? It may stop with them. What generations am I then, so you have some people who don't have children, they'll give their money away to charities and all that stuff. But that's not generational, because people think generational wealth is for your family. You don't know what the future holds. So I don't operate that way, to where I'm, this whole building generational wealth. To me, I rather build generational knowledge. Like, I rather them have the skills, tools, and resources, things that are tried and true. And I don't care what day and age we're in, these things will apply, maybe just in a different way due to technology. I'm all about the passing down knowledge and information. Graphic design is going to be graphic designing. So if they have a desire to continue on with this business, I can go and build this business. But if I don't teach my children graphic designing, unless they're going to then know how to just hire somebody to do that part of the business, they won't know if that person messes up. If I don't teach my children the actual ins and outs of it, me building a successful business up means nothing, because it's not going to stay in the family, because that means my family is not going to be the one to run it. So I don't really put a lot of emphasis on that. That's why I push so much, even to you guys, about having the knowledge and like being able to retain it. You can get the knowledge. You can come on here for a good time. It's going to be motivating. But if you don't put it into action, if you don't retain the information and knowledge, it's for like it It was for no reason. I bought HS Ink and got a fantastic deal on the 30-day training. Yes, because yeah, right now, if you buy HS Ink paper, HS Ink, or honestly speaking ink, honestly speaking paper, one product, you can get a class for 60% off. So it's an amazing deal. The professor's 30-day training gets you prepared for all her lives, and she prepares you for designing. Hey, I actually answered. Wait, what's going on here? There we go. I answered your question on live. I meant to go back in and type it out. Your question about the Jet Pro 3G, but I answered on the last live. But I am going to answer the actual post via a text response. Can I do 30 recorded classes so people can learn at their own pace? All of my classes are pre-recorded. Well, they're not pre-recorded, but it's like when I do them live, they are done in front of a live Zoom audience. That's how I thrive. I like teaching people. I don't like creating. I did that when I first started, to where I would sit and I would just kind of record things, more so for my YouTube ones. Like those type of tutorials, I used to sit, pre-record them, and then upload them. But when it came to me having an academy and teaching classes, I would love to be able to have something where I can teach people live and in person. Like, I wish I could get this into a school, or I was a teacher and this would be the subject that I would teach. Designing, teaching them how to make shirts, how to make all of the things in high school. Like, I wish I can get to, not even high school, I wish I can get to them in middle school and I can create that curriculum. But I didn't go to college. I don't have a college degree. So me being a teacher, and I'm definitely not going back to school to start all that shit over again. That's not going to happen. That's just not for me. But I wanted to teach. Like, I volunteer at my kids' schools, and it's just that environment of being in front of students and actually teaching them, getting the interaction. Like, that is why I started the academy. And then once I teach it, you have access to those playbacks over and over and over again to work at your own pace. Whenever the 30-day training is what it is. It is 30 days of recorded content. You can go on right now. You can go and enroll right now. You will have access to the content right now. All you have to do is go over to shop.hsink365.com. You can actually scroll down. It's under the featured one, right up under the pre-order for the roles. And you can go on there and enroll in it right now and get started this weekend. But when I was saying I want to do the refresher, those will be live sessions, but it's only going to be available to those who are already in it. Like, if you're not going to be able to take the refresher and you have not done the first one. So even if you want to attend the live ones, you're going to end up having to still buy both, because it's going to be a quick refresher. Whereas that first 30-day one went like into deep detail. All right, let me try and make it in the office before the rain comes down hard again. And then I'll also be able to show some of the worksheets. So our 30-day training, it's not, sometimes you'll watch YouTube videos. There are some that will say, hey, click on this link to download the working file, like the same file that I'm working from. Here's where you find that at. So you can do exactly what I'm doing, da 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 da. Well, for our 30-day training, it comes with worksheets ready for you. The same exact things that I'm working with, you're able to download those and work from them as well. There's a note guide. There's a note guide for every single day, and it says the title of that particular subject, and you would be able to. Why does it feel like the air is on? To print that out, write notes. Why was the air not on? And who in the hell driving like a maniac? That's how they got into an accident yesterday. What was I saying? So you have worksheets, you have note guides. I provide all of these resources for you. That way you don't have to try and figure out on your own. It's not okay, well, we're going to learn to trace, but I have to find my own image to trace. The only time, where I have it where someone has to find their own, or one like in some of my design classes where I want you to get used to, determining how to find the right images for yourself, like something like that. Then you're gonna have, there's nothing. And then there's some classes where everything that you need is actually in the software, so there's no worksheet for it. But everything else, there is a worksheet. All right, do you guys have any questions? Like, I want you guys to ask the questions. If you are on the fence, because it is an investment, you want to know, is it really worth it for you to make that investment? If you have questions for me about any of my classes, the trainings, feel free to ask. I'm switching over to the computer. There we go. All right. Any questions for moi? Now that I'm over here, I'm also going to share this out. How many of you guys saw my post on the senior crowns? How many of you guys, or I should say, who many of you guys did not see the post on the senior crowns? Okay. So the complimentary small business, unless it's, which it should not be on there, is no longer available for purchase. That is no longer available for purchase. The only way to get access to that was those who enrolled in the summer school, and that one is not available. I mean, right now it's kind of on pause because I had to push the classes back. But complimentary small business, like I said, is only available. It was a freebie with those who enrolled in summer school, but that one is no longer available for purchase. Is this class as 30-day training? Can you watch? Yeah. So all of my classes, never have to ask, unless it's a class where it's an active class that has active Zooms. They're all playbacks, and you can watch and view at your own pace. Okay, just join. I love your classes and watch and purchase them, but it seems like I can't make the time to watch and learn. Did not see the post. So if you, okay, so when you say you can't seem to make the time or prioritize the time to watch and learn. So every 30 minutes of your day is allotted to something. Are you someone who does not watch television? So you are not watching any TV shows. You are not on social media when you're not on your 9 to 5. You don't spend idle time on social media. You don't watch television shows. And every single 30 minutes of your life is accounted for through work, family, and I guess orders maybe. Is that how your life is set up right now? Okay. And create a small business support group, $30 a month. So I think you might be on some of those I have to hide. So we don't have a $30 a month like support, like the support group. I think that one had a price on it because of the way that it was like set up, but we don't have any of those anymore. Like that's the one bad part. I keep trying to hide them. I'm not sure how some things still show up on that site because I actually try and hide them. Our classes are hosted on 365 Creative Academy, but we encourage everyone to go to to hsinc365.com to enroll. Anything that you kind of see there, send verification code. This is not a new device. Just because it did an update? Are you serious? So I got to go look and see how that's coming up and what you guys are seeing on. But see, my page is going to still show me everything. So I don't know. But only what's on hsinc365.com is what's available for purchase now, or anything like that. So like the small business support group, that's a specific thing. Like it was a part of a package. So it's not something that can be done individually. Okay, now that's hidden. I think I'm gonna have to go in and hide a lot of the courses because they're not supposed to be available on any platform really, other than shop.hsinc365. I think that's the issue. Is like so many people are seeing them and thinking that they can sign up for them now, and you can't. Yeah, so the Academy site is showing in there and take those off so where they're hidden from that site, because I don't really utilize 365 Creative Academy as a separate site where it's like, okay, well, go here to enroll in classes. That's where they're hosted at. But if you notice, I'm always saying go, like 365 Creative Academy is just the name of it, but I'm always saying go to shop.hsinc365 to enroll. It's not set up like it's not, most websites, it's pretty and having all these like having all the information for the classes, it's not set up as a website. It has a web address, but it was never intended for me to be that site where I'm going to send people to that particular site to go see what we have to offer and to enroll. It's just a host place for the site, for the classes. Because see, on that one, like sometimes I'll create courses and I didn't even realize like it's showing up on there, because there'll be, it's something that I need like as a filter, like a funnel. And I'll create stuff. And sometimes like I'm trying to think about the name and how I want it, and it'll show up and it's not meant to show up. But thank you for reminding me of that. So now I have to go in and change out all of these classes. Oh, okay. So some people say if you're on Facebook, definitely go check out. So I see someone here that says they did not. You said you saw it. You haven't done a couple of days and you did not see the post. If you haven't seen the post, definitely go over to Facebook and check that out. Like those are things like some people don't think about creating products and things like that. It's a lot of people that say, oh, well, they don't do that here in my area. Just because they don't do it doesn't mean that you can't be the trendsetter and make it for one person. Whether the school allows them to wear it or not, maybe they can wear it, either before school, have it just in their hand, wear it after school. Like they can tell them they can't wear it like in class and stuff, but it might end up picking up. Like you can be the trendsetter that will bring that to the schools in your areas, whether it is a high school senior, an 8th grade, an 8th grader, a 5th grader, or at least for here in Florida, 5th grade is normally the last grade for elementary school. 8th grade is normally the last grade for middle school. And then of course, a senior. 12th grade is the last of, just school in general. So you can always kind of create those avenues yourself if they don't exist where you live. Don't just kind of blow it off. Oh, we don't have that here, and think that it's not for you. If you are struggling everywhere else, you feel like it's oversaturated. Everybody is doing tumblers and doing shirts and doing resin, doing pens, and it's like it's not enough. You feel like it's not enough of that money to go around. Start something new. Start something different. Okay, yeah. So right now, you have like the 30-day training, the 7-day, like the vector training, memorial, party favors. There was the sublimation seminar, the switch up, face off, Photoshop essentials, Photoshop, like just beginners editing and editing and something else like photos, pricing for profit. I think those are the ones that are actively on the site now. Once a class has been like a year, 2 years old, I remove them and they go into a vault and they don't come back. I may end up using those as like freebies for certain things because I plan to refresh the classes. I will say that when it comes to certain classes, depending on the response that I get from those who take the class, will determine whether or not I continue, like if I add that to something else. This is why I'm always asking you guys, what is it that you want to learn, right? So I'll ask you, Deb, what was it? What did you see in Complement Your Small Business? What in that did you want to learn? Like, there had to be something that really drawed you into that because of a specific subject, or like you're looking to learn how to do something, because I teach designing all the time. At the end of the day, no matter what I teach, even if I teach you something for party favors, you can easily apply those concepts to making a poster, to making the crown, to making a flyer, to creating for DTF prints. But I know some, it's like, okay, well, I want to learn it for this. Like I want to focus in, and I know I can use this, but I want to see in this shape, this template, how I would fit things in, how I would size it. So that's why I end up doing like the dedicated classes. But if it was up to me, I would literally just teach designing and just teach you design concepts and not focus on projects. Because I think when people are really asking about projects, it's because you've been in a group and it's like you saw something. Oh, I think that's super cool. I want to get into that. And it may not even be something that's marketable for you because of how you market and who you market to. So I try to focus on just helping you to find your design voice. But when I'm asking you guys questions, hey, what is it that you want to learn? No one ever says they're looking to figure out how to, right now they can't afford a graphic designer. How do I set up my own business cards? No one is asking, I never see the question. I want to be able to create my own tags to put on, with the tag gun, to put that onto my shirts. You guys act like you don't want that information. So if I don't see that, I can only go off of what my audience, right? It would be foolish of me to teach stuff just because I want to, but my audience is saying that's not what I want, right? Same thing for you guys in business. If you like something, this whole thing with the Montgomery Brawl, right? If the majority of your customers or people you had access to were kind of like, they're not really into the social trends and things like that, they don't want to wear items that, kind of promote the violent part of it. Wait, pause, right? So yesterday, and I tell y'all about this chair, like we now think of chairs totally different. Like people would never look at folding chairs the same. So yesterday, MJ was playing the video game, right? And Zion Imani, of course, wants to hang out with his brother. So they're in the room, and there is MJ's gaming chair. There's like another chair that whenever Zion Imani is in the room, he will sit in that chair. Well, I guess MJ wanted to kind of like sit back, lay back, or whatever. And he wanted to put his feet up in the smaller chair. Because I think at the time, Zion Imani wasn't in the room. So when Zion Imani came into the room, MJ was comfortable. He wasn't trying to give up his chair. So Zion Imani comes in our bathroom, and we have the chair that we sit in when I'm doing his hair in the morning to brush his teeth, for him to kind of go and wash his hand and all that stuff. So he was like, "Mommy, can I have that?" And I'm like, "Why do you want the chair?" So then he tells me, that MJ has his feet up, right? So I'm like, "Okay, fine. You can take the chair." So we fold the chair up. He's carrying the chair, and he goes past his dad towards the room. So even says, "What he do with that chair? What MJ did to him? He finna go beat him up. We don't do that." So it's so crazy that it's like you see somebody with the chair and it's like, "Who you finna go beat up with this chair?" Like, no, he just wanted a chair because MJ had his feet in his chair. And he was like, "Oh, tell him you can't use the chair to beat up on people." It was hilarious. I'm like, you do know a chair is still a chair. So I cracked up when Even said that. I'm like, people just don't think about it being a regular chair anymore. So you have some people who were wearing earrings and things like that with these chairs, and it's kind of it's now this symbol of don't have me bop you type, deal. Like, don't try me. And you have some people who embrace that and some who didn't. And if the majority of your audience were those like, okay, it's kind of cool to look at on social media, kind of have kitchen table talk, laugh about it, but am I going to be someone that's going to wear these shirts, that's going to wear earrings, that's going to have a tumbler with all these things like, oh, I can't wear that to work. Like, the environment that I work in, or I don't want, someone. And if your audience was like that, but you like that trend and you thought, okay, well, everybody else is making money on it, I'm missing out, and you go and you make those products, yes, you may attract a different audience, but that audience that you attract may not be return and repeat customers. They just happen to like the trendy thing that you did. And unless you're going to continue with doing trends, you may, I'm not saying that you're not, please, because y'all like to take some words and just be like, well, I didn't say that it's going to but you may. It is a possibility. You have to determine if that is worth the risk for you. And you put all this out. Yes, you have these sales, but now those who kind of came to you, like they're seeing you in a different light, and they may not come and order something from you because now you're trying to cater to the quick money and the trend. So you just have to be very careful, right? So if your audience isn't necessarily asking for stuff like that, they still want the affirmations, the spiritual, the lighthearted, the friendly, and you're doing this, you may, like I said, you may get a new audience, but then you can lose some of your older audience. And then once the trend dies down, if your sales slow up. So I'm kind of the same way. I'm asking you guys questions. Hey, what is that you want to learn? I try to show some of the things that I do, but at the same time, I've had some people tell me that me posting my items is very intimidating. Some people find it encouraging and motivating, and some people find it intimidating. They feel less than, or like they're not doing something right but again, I've been doing this for 20 years. I did not just start this. I took time to learn and understand design, and I worked my creative muscles in my brain for a really long time before I put a price tag on it. And that is the part that I need for everyone to understand. This is not something that's overnight. Just because you are being introduced to me, maybe, within the past week, past month, year, doesn't mean that I've only been doing this for a month, a year, 2 years. 20 years in the making is where all of this information, you guys come on here. Oh, I love the way you think. You're full of so much knowledge. 20 years, people, and still learning every single day. The 7-day vector and the switch up. Awesome. Sometimes I don't think we really know what we need. Right now, I need to learn to design. Next, I need to make some business cards. I would also like to have people scan my code to go to my site. So, I get that, right? We don't really know what we need, but you should know when you go every single day, like, every day, is there something where you're like, man, I wish I knew how to improve this, how to do this better. When you're sitting down, you already have a website. Is that website full of designs that you created yourself, or designs that you purchased from someone else, or that you created yourself, right? If you are now saying, hey, I would like to learn how to design, if you purchased a bunch of designs, what attracted you to those? Did you purchase that design because you felt like, I'm not at this skill level to where I'm able to create this myself? Well, if you're not able to create it yourself, and that's why you purchased it, if it wasn't just out of like, I need it right now, I'm convinced I don't have the time to make it, and you just don't understand how to create that design. Some things you can create yourself, some you're not going to be able to if you're not an artist and you can draw things out, and you have to have the right program to shape. But there are some things where it's like just a quick question. Hey, I purchased this design because X, Y, and Z. I'm working on learning to design this. I want to learn how to design something like this. Okay, so I need to be able to make business cards. Do you know what size business cards are? Do you know about lining up your text, arranging your text, aligning your text, making text bigger, smaller, filling it in with color? When it comes to using any type of imagery, do you know how to crop it down to it? So you know that you want to make business cards. Do you know already, like, it's in your mind to eventually make business cards? Do you know the steps it's going to take to make those? Because if you didn't, that's a question. I'm preparing right now. Within the next couple of weeks, months, I want to be able to, create my own business card. Do you have some tips, or what can we? These are questions that you can ask. So just in this part right here, you have things that you need. I don't think I've ever seen those questions come from you as far as, how do I go about making a business card or designing a business card? Can I do that in Silhouette Studio? These are all questions. You guys have questions every single day. I just don't understand why you guys don't want to ask me or post it in the group. How many of you guys are like being honest? You don't want to wait. You want to learn everything right now. Be honest with yourself and me. Is your hesitation for a lot of things, I want to learn it now. Like, I just want to figure it out now. I don't want to learn from the beginning. I don't want to do 30-day training. I don't want to learn what Subtract does. I want to use Subtract in a design. How many of you, that's where you are right now? Debbie took immediate action. She enrolled in the 7-day and the Switch Up Part 1 Snapback. Thank you for enrolling in those classes, Debbie. Let's see who else has said
Look, I'm ready to learn. Okay. All right. We have someone that enrolled in the 30-day training. Thank you so much, Pearl. We have someone who definitely took advantage of our color chart. That's so important. Thank you for that order. Okay. Yep, we were just talking about that. Thank you. We're going to see if TikTok has some questions for me. It seems like most of you guys are here. You're just on. It's kind of on just to kind of listen in. So we'll see. And if there's no questions, I'm going to talk a little bit more because a little bit more. That's why I want to get on here, because I'm going to talk about the 30-day training a little bit more. That's why I came inside so I can show the worksheets and stuff like that. And then we're going to get off if you guys don't have any questions for me. Let's see. Let's go over here to our hard drive for Silaholics Academy, that's what it used to be called. Hello, Hans. Incredible morning or afternoon. Girl, I saw the pictures of your orders. My God. My God. My God. Thank you for the rose. Girl, you are doing the damn thing. Okay. I'm like, I noticed the Tumblr wall was back. I was like, that's how I was introduced to you. I was like, yes, honey, you're doing the thing. Okay. You are definitely doing the thing. I am like a proud mama over here. Proud friend, proud sister. I was like, every time I saw that, and I'm like, orders on top of orders, and then seeing like just the family help, I was just like, yes. Okay, let me find I gotta find the worksheets. You are very welcome. She says, thanks for your amazing paper. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Let me see, which day do we want to go to? All right. I want to learn by doing the 30 days. I started over. I had several deaths in the family, and that was a setback for me. Trust me, I get that. I took a whole month off. I mean, especially if you had several, I get that. And my condolences to you. But I had to take a whole month off when my grandmother passed. So trust me, I get it. That's why I encourage you guys to take it one step at a time. That's why I asked the question about, who's trying to, who thinks they can learn and consume all this. Life happens. But if we want to be better with something, we have to be consistent with it. When we make up our mind, hey, we want to drop some pounds, we become very consistent about that. Even if it's just for a couple of months, but we make time for that because we are prioritizing, getting healthier, dropping some weight, building muscle, eating better. So it becomes intentional. We have to, if this is the desires of your heart, the desires of your heart is to have a custom creations business, to make t-shirts, to make tumblers, to create your own files for your laser cuts. You want to be able to create your own, not just have to always go off of somebody else's thoughts. You want to make your own. You want to make your own setups for, laser cuts for earrings, for signs, whatever it is. Like, you have to learn design. If what you're doing requires design, whether you are purchasing it or you're making it yourself, you have to have some understanding of design. So if that's a part, if you want to have that as a money-making task, I'm not going to necessarily say a business. There's so much more to business. I'm trying my best to not always use the word business, because there is so much more to business than just making the items. Some of you guys just want to create things that you can make money for, and you want to put it in front of people who are going to want to buy it. But that does not mean that you have a business. You have a hobby that is monetized. You have something that you can make some mad money, some pocket change. And that's just the truth of the matter, because you're not ready for all of the business things. But if you have a desire to create some items, especially if you've gone as far as to have a website, what are we going to put on this site? So you have to prioritize. I know it's kind of hard and you may lose motivation, but not to, this is something that someone had to tell me. So I'm not saying this to be insensitive, because I wanted to not, I thought I was through dealing when my aunt passed, because she, I think, is the one that believed in me the most. She just kept saying she just wished she had money to invest in our business, get me the building that I wanted, get me every single piece of machinery that I needed to be successful. And when she passed, it's like a big part of that business person, that entrepreneur in me went with her. Like, but I had to keep going. And I kept saying, like, that was my motivation. Even though I know she's watching that, I want to make her proud. I want to know that she's up there smiling, she's doing it. And then when my grandmother passed, I had no desire to do anything, like none whatsoever. But I know that I have a family to take care of. We have bills, we have mortgage, we have these different things. So I had to dig deep. I'm still digging deep every single day. I want to give up every month. Like, there's a moment where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. This is hard. Being an entrepreneur, everything falls on your shoulder. Even when you have help and you have staff, like, you still have to make sure that the business is running so that you can pay that staff and pay that help and make sure that they understand what they're supposed to do. It is hard being a boss. Like, it ain't just, oh, well, I make my own money. Like, when you're really doing business, that is just hard. It's easy to go to a job. Like, y'all think that it's hard to get up and go deal with these people at my job. They're aggravating. That is easy. They've given you an outline. This is exactly what you need to do, and you don't have to worry about anything else. That is easy. Coming in on, like, you want to play around over here? It'll make you wish, and it'll make you want to go back. The grass is not greener on this side. It really isn't. The money that you think that you're making doesn't belong to you. You can't use it to pay bills, like your own personal bills, because you have to take care of the stuff for the business. You have to make hard decisions on what things to give up or to sacrifice because sales weren't where you thought they were going to be on your job. If they're not bringing money in, then it's like, hey, we're just going to lay you off, and then you just have to go find another job. But it's like when you're working for yourself, if those sales aren't selling, if those numbers aren't moving, like, people go and look at and think, okay, you're just like super rich, or they'll look at, okay, if you sold this amount for this much, whatever, you should. But there's so many other things when it comes to business, and people just don't talk about, like, all that money just doesn't just sit around. It's just for us to do. Where we're like, we've hit some hard times. Like, we go, and it's, luckily I have a husband, and I thank God for the one who is not like what I grew up as, and he believed in like creating savings and having that, because we've had to dip into savings before. Like it is hard in this, like, you know, over the past couple of years, like we've had to go into that savings, you know, time or two where sales were not where they were. And it's like, if you are somebody where you kind of gave up on everything, it's always this hoping and wishing, oh, I don't have time for it. I want to leave my 9 to 5 so I can, oh God. So when someone says I can craft all day, that means you want to sit around and do nothing all day. Like now I hear too many people saying, I want to leave my 9 to 5 because I'm making so much money. I want to run my business. I want to work my business. I want to, I'm making money this amount now. If I had this extra time, I just want, you know, I want to craft all day. Oh, my regular 9 to 5 is getting in the way of me crafting. Like, no, this is just hard. I got a website, but I don't want to be a business after my brother passed. It's so different. Yeah, it's very different. It's very different. Is there a reason why the 7310 to release more inks than intended? So I saw yours, but I was on live. Sometimes it's just like, especially if you just set it up, if you did push air, you may need to just take all of your cartridges out, clean the inside. It might just be a pool of ink there. It can be a couple of different things. So just kind of have to, at that point, maintain the printer and do some things. I spent the other day, I spent an hour and a half doing maintenance and cleaning maintenance and cleaning everything out, taking my little swabs and wiping everything, folding up the paper towel, taking the ink carriage over it to clean that one because you can't really get under it. So I kind of just go, you know, back and forth over it, cleaning the capping station. So yeah, it's a lot to maintenance to keep up with that, to keep up with those printers. Later, Deb. Thank you for the likes over here. Thank you for double tapping the screen. All right, I gotta find this. That wasn't the one that I was looking for. Okay, something weird is going on here. Okay, wait, it's not there. Hey, Ruby, how art thou? Am I overlooking something? That's the thumbnails. That's not what I want. Those are all the 7. Oh, haha, I'm bugging right here. Let's see. I'm looking for the one for how to select. Okay, pizza wheel marks mean I need to clean my rollers, correct? So yes, right? And we have to remember that when it comes to desktop printers, they have the rollers in it. So they have little pinwheels because that's what keeps the paper in place, especially once the end of the paper gets past, like an incident open well, it's holding it in place. So with summation and with certain papers, they're not like your regular copy paper that's going to absorb that ink and it's going to go inside and it's going to just dry. With summation paper, whether it's ours or a lot of the other ones, because we want that paper, we want that ink to release once it's heated. We don't want it to absorb into the paper too much and tint the paper. We want it to be able to be released. So you have some papers where it more so soaks into the paper and it tints it, which is why when you go to press it, you still see all this color on it because it has absorbed in there. And that's that kind of like instant dry paper. But a lot of the papers are more so like fast dry type papers, and there is a coating on it. There's like a resin coating, so it's not going to dry immediately. And whenever you do dark colors, it's not so much the lighter colors, it's the dark colors that are going to pick up because of the way that, like for darker colors, the printer naturally puts down more ink. So you're going to have to make that a part of your regular maintenance. You're not going to just clean it. Oh, I cleaned it once and I don't have to worry about it again. No, you have to clean it often, especially if you do dark colors. Even with using plain paper setting, you're going to have to clean them. It's, so some things aren't meant to be like where you're printing a whole bunch back to back because you have to make time to actually clean them. Yeah, it's only going to be black, reds, and blues are the ones that normally are the issue. Okay, so let me move you guys here. And then let's go over here. Okay, so, oh wait, it's not up yet. Let me tell you guys a little bit about like how my classes are run, right? We can take it like, we can take for granted what people know and what they don't know, right? Through my classes and through being an instructor where it's like, if you don't know something, if you know that you feel like something is keeping you from following along in the class, like be totally honest and transparent. And I found out, based off of like I have my students share their screen. This is why I love the live sessions and the platform that we use, because I know how I'm kind of clicking on it. And to me, I'm like, okay, well, it's the perfect scenario that's happening. But I don't know what type of computer you have, if you're using a mouse, a trackpad, if you even know how to properly select things. I have this built into my 30-day training. Some people, they may be able to completely bypass this part of the training. They can completely bypass it. And then there are some where they need this to understand how they're selecting things, especially when you're clicking and dragging. So I wanted to show this one for you guys to see how detailed this is, to where this is a program where it doesn't matter what level you are. You could just be someone that just downloaded it. You've never looked at it. You've never done graphic designing. I have built in the little things. So with this particular worksheet, like I have stars on here. So I'm going in and I'm telling them. So if you notice, like right here, there's a star here, there's a star there. So part of the teaching is I tell them, you're going to put your mouse here, like by this star, you're going to click. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm too close to it. You can't. I teach that too. If you see the finger versus the arrow, if you see the finger, that means that it's going to click on it and it's going to select it, versus if it's here, it's an arrow. So you want to see the arrow, you want to click and then come down to the other star, right? And it's looking at what all you've selected. So this shows I don't have to go and select the entire thing. Even if I just come here, drag and select, I've selected the whole design. This also comes from, us going over your tools. We take it back. We start off with understanding the basics. It's little things that you may not realize is different when you're watching someone's video on YouTube, because some people have it where it has to be totally enclosed. So if I come over here to tools, there is an option. So when drag selecting, select shapes touching the drag box. That means all you have to do is touch it. if it's set to enclose to a drag box, like you have to enclose it. If I were to do this same thing, nothing selects other than those two stars because the rest is not enclosed. Now, if I were to bring this over here, which that's what this example is, girls is selected because technically my marching ants went around that, but birthday and shipmate is not. But now if I come here, so if I just do that same thing, come here and here, I just have the letters that are selected. But if I come here, drag and select all the way down, if I even just stop on this star, the star isn't selected. The star wasn't selected over here because it was not enclosed. These are the things that we teach in this training, because you can watch a video and in your mind, you think, I'm following exactly what they are doing. I'm doing it step for step for step. I stopped it. I rewound it. I took notes. Why is mine not doing what theirs is doing? It may be something as simple as they never showed that you have to, there is a difference in the tools. And when you when dragging and selecting, being enclosed versus just touching. If yours is set to enclosed, it's never going to give you the results that you saw on someone's YouTube, someone's TikTok, someone's class, if they've never taken the time to explain that there is a difference. One of the other big things is when we are selecting things, right? So there is continue to draw, like there is continue to draw shapes, continue drawing shapes, or choose select, right? So this one right here, I'm going to leave it where it just says continue to draw freehand. Now, right now, if I were to use my arrow and I was to select something, I'm able to select it and it goes to an arrow and I'm able to move it, right? If I go and come over here to my freehand and I go and I make something, my freehand stays there. So although there is a box around this shape that I created, if I go to now, I want to click on this to move it. Whoa, wait. I want to click on, and then this is how you end up, because you keep trying to click and you end up with all of these little ghost pieces because it took you a minute to realize, oh, I have to either come back over here and hit the arrow so that now I have a finger or I have an arrow to be able to click it and move it, or I have an arrow where I can drag and select, or I'm clicking on it, it's selected, and then I can move it. These are things that I teach in the 30-day training. You think that these are not important things to know until you're frustrated because it's like, where's all this stuff coming from? So when I go now, look at all of those little boxes I created because I did not go back to the selection tool. Now, I'm going to change this to when creating a shape. I'm going to go continue drawing shapes. All right. So if I were, that's what I should have done. So if I were to draw a square or a box, every time I click, it's going to keep doing this until I hit the arrow, or if I hit V on my keyboard, and then it goes back to an arrow where I can now select that and move it or fill it in with color. Yes, I teach about the preferences. I teach about the preference. Let me go over here. We have a whole day just for preferences. The benefits of them, when you would need to use certain ones. Like there are times where I needed to continue to do something, especially like knife tool, because I don't want to have to keep going back and forth. So if I come down here, I'm going to click on the class. So day 1, features and benefits of the upgrades. Can you work out of the free version? Do I need to update? And right now I just want to learn it. Do I need to find $25 for a designer edition? Do I need to find $50-$60 for business edition when I click on the professor's link to go to Swing Design? I was just barely able to pay for the class. Do I need those things in order to complete this class? No, you don't. So day one, out the gate, before you spend it, we're going to go over how to download it, install it, and hey, do you need the upgrades? And you can decide from that if you really, really want to invest in it. That's day one. Day two, preferences, shortcuts, and how to save. There are times where you're going to want to do save versus save as versus saving to your hard drive and then saving to your library. They all serve different purposes. If you want to keep a draft of something and you just hit save, you're overriding any changes versus save as. So I break down, and I have so many comments in the group where people say, I'm just on day 3 and I have learned so much because I go over the little things. Don't take for granted the little. Day 1 through 4 are so important. They are so important to really being able to experience this software for all of its glory, for everything that it has to offer. Because if one little thing is different, if you skipped over that, and I get to a section where I'm going over shapes and yours is doing this, you're trying to create the circle or whatever, and you can't just click on yours to resize it or change the color, it's because you skipped over my preference day where I went over all of the preferences. And so under tools, if I go drawing shapes, choose select. Now, when I go to draw a shape, it goes to the arrow and I can click on it. Going to buy and do what you suggested, set aside at least 30 minutes a day. And you can either do 30 minutes a day, you can do a class. And some of these classes are much longer because I was taking my time through them. But the joy of it is you can go back at any point. If you can only commit to 30 minutes, commit to that 30 minutes. It does not matter where you are in that 30 minutes. Like if I'm mid-click of something, don't try and finish it. Stop, set your timer, stop at that 30 minutes, look at the timestamp, write it down. On your playback, you can even write in the comment section. 8:19:23 stopped at, and then put in whatever that timestamp. When you come back to that video, go to your comment, click on your timestamp, and it is going to start back right there. If you want to go back a little bit to kind of refresh your mind, you can go and do that. But if you want to commit to 30 minutes a day, commit to 30. If your whole thing is trying to complete one class, you can go and look at the total time for that class. Do you have the time to sit through that whole thing if you're committing to doing the class? If you want to do that one class over the course of a weekend, you want to maybe go in and look and take your note guide and maybe write how long each of these classes are, and maybe prioritize it for, a certain day where you have 3 hours to invest in learning it and practicing it and all those different things. But if you're saying 30 minutes, set a timer, do 30 minutes, stop, and then move on. Even in that 30 minutes, you're going to get so much information because I literally teach you from the beginning, even if you have never touched this software before. If you know Photoshop and you know Illustrator, doesn't mean that you know Silhouette, because they don't have things like that where it's like choose, select, or whatever. Like they may not have those options. You might be used to having, with Photoshop, you have to double click to open up your, not double click. You have to click on it, and then you have to go to transform to be able to change the size. Whereas with Silhouette Studio and other vector programs, you click on it, you immediately get the box that you can adjust. So if you're used to hitting Control T, that's going to be different for you in Silhouette Studio. So it's important to go through those first 4 days. So to enroll, you're going to go over to our website, shop.hsinc365.com. That is our main website. Once you enroll, the classes themselves are hosted. Like, we have a separate website, but we don't really sell through that platform. We try and keep everything over here because you can use your rewards points and things of that nature. We're able to offer gift cards and discounts and things like that over here a little bit easier than we can over there. From the shop site, if you decide you want to purchase 4 classes because they're buy one, get one 50% off. So if you just buy 3, you're not taking, it doesn't take anything off of that third one. So if you're buying 4 classes, you want to split that up into 4 payments through either Shop Pay or Sezzle. You can do that on our shop site. So we push heavily, coming over to the shop site to enroll in your classes, but you're going to get an email. You're going to create an account that's on the Academy site. And that's where you will find access to all of the content. Make sure that you're reading through everything, because a lot of the stuff now, some of the things are not, like, the broken down videos are not there. So many people love the way that we kind of change our classes, because they can then watch the playbacks on like a large screen and then have their laptop. They don't have 2 screens. So make sure that you are fully reading to see how to get access to all of the classes. Thank you for the rose. Fire. Or no, wait, hot. I forget. I can't do that. I don't see how people do that dumb. I'm not gonna call it dumb, but I don't see people do that. But thank you for the rose. Thank you for the fire. Thank you for the finger heart. Okay. Thank you so very much. All right. So I come back over here. So if we start here and we come down, come here. If we start here and I just come to this star. Oh, wait, it still selected everything. Hold on. Why did it give me... Oh, that may have been under the enclosed one. The different examples of enclosed and not enclosed, because this does give it to me. Like, you can still select it. So if I come here and just go to like here, see, I leave all of those behind. That star should probably go there. But trust me, it makes sense in the class. All right, so we have that one. So like I said, I have worksheets. I'm going to hit no. We're not trying to save this. Then we have, all right, so let me get the link for you. I'll get you the direct link straight to the 30-day class, but it's Essentials to Silhouette Studio. Learn Silhouette Studio in 30 days is the name that's on there. If you just put in like 30 days, it'll definitely come up. I'm going to get the direct link. And it's also on our main page. So here, if you're on our main page, you scroll down right here, Essentials to Silhouette Studio. Can't miss it. It's on the front page of the website. The website, again, is shop.hsink365.com. Or you can go to www.hsinc365.com. Or you can simply just put hsinc365 in your search, whether it's Google, Yahoo, Bing. Just put hsinc365. It'll take you over to the website. We are definitely Googleable. We are indexed. So just head over to the site. You'll see our favicon. You'll see our website logo here, and just scroll down, and it's Essentials to Silhouette Studio. Learn Silhouette Studio in 30 days. Oh, you know what? It's on here. That's probably why, because when you type it, but I think it might be in the description. I may have to go in there and change it, because before it used to say Essentials to Silhouette Studio or Silhouette Studio for Beginners. And I think that's why I changed that one, because Silhouette Studio for Beginners was a better SEO than Essentials to Silhouette Studio. Yep. So that's what I'm saying. I made that post, right? Some of you guys have these classes and you were so excited when it dropped and you don't go back to the class. So if you already have it, yep, Essential Silhouette Studio 2022 30-day challenge. Yep. That's it. So you already have access to it. All you have to do is commit to 30 minutes. And, you know, I'm not even going to recommend that you look into the other classes. Now, if you want to kind of have those just to have them, maybe you probably got it because it was on sale or something. Now, we do have the promotion going on where it's buy one, get one 50% off. So if you then want to like take advantage of that and get a class that you're going to need later on, like memorial designing or the Switch Up creative designing crash course, text effects, vector designing, events, and decor, that's mainly working with a lot of like JPEGs, PNGs, backgrounds, and text. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can purchase those while it is available. Buy one, get one 50% off. But hey, just work with the 30-day training right now, and then you can come back as long as you come back before 2024, because most of these in 2024 will be gone. Like I said, I don't actually, 2024, 2 years. I only leave classes up for 2 years. As of today, I am doing better. Yes, that's what I like to hear. Being intentional about being better and prioritizing your goals. That is the key word for the rest of the year. Prioritize your goals. Prioritize your goals. If you are going to commit to prioritizing your goals, put it in the comments. Prioritize my goals. Prioritize my goals. If you make shirts, you've been kind of stuck, find you some text. Make a shirt for yourself. Make a mug for yourself. Make a tumbler for yourself. If you have a laser cutter, make a keychain for yourself. Make a sign for yourself. Something to remind you. If you don't want to do all of that, put that shit on a Post-it. Prioritize my goals. Let's see. Let's pull up. All right. So these look the same. Can we agree that these two images right here look the same? I'm going to zoom in on them. Do they look the same? This is from our 30-day, this is from our Compound Path Day. This is the Compound Path worksheet. Do these look the same? Someone's comment over on TikTok was filtered. So if you just left a comment, TikTok said you said something crazy, and so they're not showing it to me. You can probably still see it on your side, but I don't see it. So you may have to reword it and retype it out again. So I asked the question, do these look the same? Simple question. Oh, wow. I didn't realize no one's going to okay. All right. No one's going to prioritize themselves. That means this, I'm going to share it out. I'm not even going to end it just because you guys are not involved. You know, you guys aren't engaging. You guys are not ready to prioritize your goals. Let's see if we can get some people on here who are serious about themselves. They're serious about making money. They're going to engage. Let's see if people understand how important it is to engage, because if you want someone to purchase your products, you need engagement. You need to know that you have people that are listening to you, that hear you, they understand what you have, and that they are interested in what you have. So even in me doing this, it's still a teaching moment. We want to create things, and we just hope that by the grace of God, someone likes it and someone buys it. We don't want to talk about it. We're too shy. I don't want to get on camera. I don't want to make video content. I don't want to be on social media. I'm an introvert, but you want to be the face of the business. You want to be the everything for the business, but you're still holding on to this. I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert. That's not going to help you in business, because if you are going to be a complete introvert and you're not going to speak up about your business, you can't communicate with your business. You can't go and just let someone know the benefits of your business, what it is that you sell, and know without stuttering off, this is what we have and what we offer. The sales aren't going to come in. I don't care how many reels you make. I don't care how many social media posts that you make. You have to come out of your shell. You are going to have to speak on your business. You are going to have to engage. The algorithm gives you what you give it. So if you go and you're on social media and you're not engaging with people, how can you want the same for yourself when somebody else is saying, hey, this is my business. I may not be on here trying to sell you a tumbler, a shirt, some resin earrings, a sign or whatever. I may not be trying to sell you this, but this is a part of my business. And if I'm saying, hey, I need the engagement, comment, say yes, say amen, say something, prioritize your goals. If not, what you over here for? If you want the same thing to come back to your business, why don't you aren't you giving that same energy? But I don't know what I'm talking about. It's okay. And she said, talk to us over here on TikTok. We want to learn. Okay, so I'm forget about y'all. I'm going to go over here and talk to the folk on TikTok after I finish sharing this out. Hold on. All right. All right. There we go. I'll share it out over there. Okay. So, so these should look just the same, right? These look the same. However, If I were to fill these in with color, they now don't look the same. We have one where we see the openings of the butterfly, and the other one we do not. This is a result of compound path and whether or not it is released or the compound path is applied. Now, it still technically has just one box. That is where grouping comes in at, and we teach about the differences in grouping and make compound path and welding. With this one, if I were to choose to weld this, all of those middle parts go away. There's no bringing that back unless I undo. There's no unweld. We teach that. So when you go and so let me tell you the reason why this particular day exists in the training. If you watch my video, I think 2 days ago, we talked about files that are not set up ideally. Every person that makes designs does not design them the same way. They design them how they are comfortable, how they are able to use it. But when you get it, you may need to do or want to do different things, right? This is the same exact file as, let's see. Let's go to how to select worksheet. This is the same file. So how do we go from purple or one solid color to where we have an outline and we have all the colors of the rainbow? You have to know what steps to take to be able to accomplish this. Because even if you don't design yourself, what happens when you go and you purchase a file? How is their file set up? If they go like the one that we had, she just, let me see, do I have it on here? Let's see, under recent. Is it under recent? I think this might be it. Okay, so I'm just going to move. I don't know what all happened to this one, but I'm just going to move this for now because it's all over the place. But even with like right here, with her lips being separated, if you're doing vinyl, you can probably get it to fit. But if you were printing it out, like maybe having that line, like how do I go about making that part solid? So you have to know the tools, what it is that they do, what they're capable of. If you were wanting to, close off that gap, right? So if I bring this down, we have to know the difference between bring to the front, send to the back. So if I adjust my edit points on this, I'm going to lose my lip, right? But if I go and I send that to the back, I can close off that gap. But I still see the black outline, like the separation of the lips. This is what the 30-day training teaches you. It teaches you to understand the software, not just to design. If I teach you to design and you get one element that is different, like it's not perfect, it's not this perfect setup, you're going to spend hours and hours and feel like they need to pay you $1 million because you spent 24 hours to finish this design because you were trying to go from post to post, group to group. Who knows why you leaving vague posts? No one understands what you're talking about. They're going to suggest 30,000 different things because they can't figure out what you're talking about. They're going to pick an answer out the sky, post it. You're going to follow that one, realize that doesn't work. You're going to go look at the next comment that you post in the other group. You're going to try that one. That ain't going to work either. Before you know it, this file is completely unusable. You got to start over from scratch. And now you're frustrated again. Because why? You never took the time to learn the tools, what it is that they do, how to make them work together, because you thought that the 30-day training was not needed. Oh, I've been doing this long enough. I get by. You think that it's not needed. And I am as good as I am with this because I took the time to understand graphic designing softwares. I took the time to understand why you do A, B, and C to get X, Y, and Z. If you are okay with having to rely on the knowledge and hope and pray that the person that answers your post, because we can make a bunch of posts. Sometimes some people get 1,000,001 and they get 1,000 answers, 10, 15 people. As soon as they make the post, they're getting these comments and they can all be very different. Sometimes people make a post and not one person sees it because of how the algorithm works. So you're just sitting here waiting on somebody. You're just waiting and hoping and praying that the right person, you hoping and praying that the professor is on and she saw your post and she's going to be able to help you out. But not if your question is vague. I don't understand what's going on. You're not showing me any pictures. I don't know what you did, what you didn't do, what you don't know, what you know, what you don't know. But when you invest at least 30 minutes to an hour in learning the tools and functions within this 30-day training, it can only make you better. It's going to make you more efficient. You're going to be able to take on more orders. How you really make money is not by adding on all these different things. Create additional stream of income, add DTF. Oh, I know your customers sick of just white plain old shirts. They want colored shirts, they want cotton shirts. Learn DTF. That's not gonna always be the key to making more money and adding on something else. That's going to be more frustration. There's more things that you have to keep up with. In this business, I can guarantee you, even if you only buy someone else's designs, you got to know if that design is going to work for what you need it to work for. This one right here, where is it? When the person that made this, almost every single person, when you go look at the reviews, they made a shirt. When I went and I posted it, I'm getting inbox on, oh my gosh, I have that file. I didn't even think to put it on a Tumblr. It can go on the Tumblr, but they're looking at the size. They don't know how to size it. I got questions. Oh my God, how did you get how did you get the name to line up right in the back? I know about designing. You can't expect to be spoon-fed. In this business, knowing how to design is key. That is where your money is going to come in at. You see a background. I really like this. I want to make something from it. No, you didn't create the background, but how can I use that to make a tumbler, make a mug, make a crown? I did a crown and I created a tumbler that had the same elements. Could I take that crown and just stretch it and make it work on a tumbler, make it fit the tumbler? No. Something's going to be squished in, something's going to be stretched out, something's going to be elongated, it's going to be smushed. You have to know how to arrange them and move them around, how to work that template. You have to know how to do those things to be successful in this business, in this craft business. Your customers are expecting you to be the creative one. If you're in business, they're trusting that you know what you're doing. Why do I have to give you why do I have to give you all the ideas? You a crafter. You're supposed to be creative. Where your creativity coming in at? I'm paying you to be creative. If that's what you're trying, if you have this customized business, you have to know design softwares. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You have to know design softwares. And I teach you that through all of my trainings. You build, you start at the beginning, And each training that you take should be building and building and building and building on your skills to where, in a few years, you're going to say that you're 20 years in. This is going to just, desires are going to come to you easily. People are going to come to you because of, oh, wait, speaking of which, pause. I need to check something because my worm was missing their glasses when I went to go pick up my DTF transfers. And I need to make sure. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put some boom in it. Okay. I know I ain't crazy. My worm got glasses on. You see, this is the actual PNG. Okay, no. Okay, so no, somehow. All right, no, it's not on them. Okay, I was gonna say. So that one, I cannot say anything to them. My E, though, is incorrect. But no, somehow, see, I didn't even realize that. I never even paid any attention. Somehow, wait a minute. Those glasses came from, oh, wow. Oh, friggin' wow. Okay, so here's what happened with the glasses. I design in Silhouette Studio, right? If you have a Silhouette file, like if you purchase something from the design store and you did not purchase the SVG version, you only got the Silhouette version. If you save your design in a format that is basically vectorized, so if you try and save it as an SVG or a PDF, it'll give you the warning that those shapes will show up as a dashed line because it came from the Silhouette Studio design. So these are things that are proprietary to their system. Now you can save it flattened. So you can save it as a JPEG or a PNG, but you cannot save it as a PDF. There are certain things that you have to do to modify it to where it's not, straight from Silhouette anymore. So these glasses, but it's kind of weird because it's the exact same glasses that's on the Owl. Maybe I just didn't change those. I guess I didn't change those when I changed the one for the Owl. Because let me see, my Owl glasses are there. And my color here is incorrect. So I have to go back and it doesn't look bad though. My worms don't look bad without the glasses. I'll show my worm. And I did this. I made this worm from scratch. I did it in my group. And I have 3 different things. So now my worm on my shirt looks like this. It just doesn't have glasses. But that's so weird because these are offsets. So it should have given me these. I don't know. I got to figure that part out, why that one didn't show up. Prioritize your comments aren't going through. They aren't. Hello, I am Incredible. Incredible greetings, Crystal. Thank you for joining. We're just going over my 30-day training and what you will learn within my 30-day training for Silhouette Studio. I teach you from the basics, even in how to drag and select, click and select, things of that nature, going over preferences, how to set up your design page. And then we get into things like understanding subtract, understanding compound path, understanding modify, well, text to path, replicate, just some of everything. So my 30-day training goes over everything in Silhouette Studio to help you understand how to design. But yeah, so let's go back over here. So this is a byproduct of this is already set up where, so if I go over here and I don't even have the option to ungroup. I can release compound path, but I don't have the option to ungroup. Whereas if I come over here, I have the option to ungroup. And once you ungroup, you're able to now select every element and make it a different color if you're wanting to set it up like this one, where everything has a different color. So you'll be able to click on each element and change it. When you want to customize like this is something that takes a while to do. Even if you are skilled in it, all of these butterflies, if you're trying to make them all different, you want a certain color pattern, even if you're skilled, it is a task that's going to take you some time, and you should be charging accordingly. If you are not just downloading a file that's ready to use as is for your customers, they're requesting something custom, and you're going in, and let's say we made all of these butterflies a different, like all of the parts of the butterfly, different shades of pink. Maybe somebody else wanted shades of purple for lupus or epilepsy. Maybe they wanted, we're going to use this in a design for rainbow babies. I think birth after a miscarriage or loss is pink and blue. That's the awareness colors. If you wanted to do that, if you wanted it to be reds for heart disease, people like me who had a whole heart attack at 42 years old. So if I wanted different shades of red, I'm going to go in and I'm going to customize this. That takes time to customize it for different, like with different colors. You should be charging for that. If it's not a part of your regular setup, you have to know that you are able to even do that, and that just because you purchased it one way doesn't mean that you only have to use it that way. So we teach you to see past what you purchased, what's on the screen, visualize, unlock that creativity, visualize what you want it to be, what it could be, who could you market this to, make it appealing to them. That's when I get into the business side of creating, right? So who are we creating for? How to create for that audience, how to identify that audience. There's so many layers to this once you venture into the business side. Business is not just, okay, I know how to make it, I'm going to price it, I'm going to get a website, I now have a business. You have to know who you're talking to. Right now, I'm trying my best to figure out who I'm talking to, because right now I feel like I'm talking to a bunch of folk who are not ready to take action. So right now, you guys, for me, it's like, this isn't my audience. I have a lot of people on right now who are not looking to be engaged. And if I am someone where I want an audience, I want students who are going to be engaged. I know every student in class isn't that raise their hand. So okay, wait. Pause. Now back to reality, regular life, right? So MJ is telling us about his second day of school. And there's a kid, I guess, that's in one of his classes, and they are a very, very eager learner. They are an eager learner. Every time the teacher says something, it's like they're super excited about answering and they're loud with it. And I'm looking at MJ like, oh, really? I said, you do understand that's how you are, bro, call me. Oh my God. And I'm like, MJ, you do know that's how you are with you. He's like, that's at home. That's video games. Like, not in the class. Like, he wanted to answer everything. I said, well, that's how some people are. Like, and some teachers love it. It can, sometimes it can be a bit annoying for teachers, depending on how the outburst comes out. But that's what makes your day and like your class kind of move along, and you get lost in the time, because you have at least 10% of your students that are engaging, that are asking questions, that are answering you back, to know that somebody is retaining the information. If you gave a test, you know that somebody gonna at least get a few answers right, because they're showing that they are, they're retaining the information. Now, you have some students who are going to be completely quiet, yet they're taking notes and they are going to retain it, but you won't know until the test. It's like, oh, okay, they did know what they were talking about. They did understand what I was saying. For me, that test, and like, I don't give out tests. Look, It ain't that type of party. I really don't have time to create tests. I'm not motivated to create tests, because if I can't get y'all to be engaging over here and answer simple questions or write simple things like prioritize my goals, you think I'm about to spend hours and hours creating a test for it to sit there? No, ma'am, no ham. This is where knowing your audience and knowing that it's a bunch of grown folk who are too busy for stuff like that, they don't prioritize that. So why am I going to spend hours? I can be using that time for something else. See, here is where that business mindset comes in at. But for me, the test is when I see you guys post, when I see you proud of your designs, look at, what I created. I'm practicing on this. That is how I know if you retain the information, because your work will show. Your Tumblr that no longer has ghosting, no longer has white lines on it. That is the test. You got a perfect Tumblr. The test is when you go and you created this shirt. You were able to design it, submit it to someone for DTF prints, put it on a shirt, and it looks absolutely amazing. That is the test part for me. What you guys post and show on social media, that is how I know you're retaining the information. When you go and your sales skyrocket, you retain some type of information. When you've identified your target audience, you've retained some of the information. That is your test. That is my gauge on whether or not you guys have retained the information. I found you on YouTube. Then I found you on TikTok. So blessed to have found you. Oh, Esmeralda. That is so sweet. I love watching your lives. Thank you, Crystal. But yeah, so we go over this. So we go over compound paths, right? Let me see, what was the difference? Oh, so with this one, if I double click here, nothing happens. But if I double click here, I get edit points. So we break that down, how to identify if something is a compound path or if it is grouped together. So with the top one, if I double click, it's both of them. You click and you get the selection box, right? So they would look exact. You would think they will be the same. To the naked eye, they are the same. But what if you wanted different colors? How many of you guys have designed like that? You want to take a design and you want each letter to be a different color, or maybe every 2 letters to be a different color. Has anyone ever created a design like that or had a desire to create a design like that? Go ahead and put a 3 if you desired to have a design where the colors were different. Each letter was a different color. Oh, wait, you know what? Where have we seen that at recently? Okay, so I see some 3s. I see some 3s on YouTube and Facebook. I see some 3s over here on TikTok and some me's. Okay. Well, if you got an SVG, right? Or let's say you found some words and you traced it. If you don't understand compound paths, then you're not going to know how to change those colors, because the video that you watched, that video just said right click and ungroup. Okay, so I'm going to right click and ungroup. Yeah, if it was set up that way, I can click on each one of these letters and I can change them to a different color. Right? But if I come down here and I do the same thing, wait, why is there no ungroup? So we watched a video. The video said ungroup, and you're going to be able to change all of the letters, right? Because let's just say we're going to go and type out ship mate, right? We're going to type it out. We're going to make it black. So we typed it out. We have ungroup, we ungroup, we can change the colors, right? But what if you purchase the file? What if you trace the file? What if, there's different scenarios, right? We don't have ungroup. So if the instructor said to ungroup and you don't have ungroup, what do? What does that mean? The what ifs. So Glow said the what ifs. That is the joy of my classes. I teach you the what ifs. I thrive on teaching you the what ifs because it's not going to always be a perfect scenario. In a class, it is a controlled environment. On a YouTube video, it is a controlled environment. There are controlled variables. But when you are on your own, a lot of things can happen. I teach the what if. Okay. So the answer, so people ask all the time, well, I want to know more about compound paths. Now, compound path over here was something different with these butterflies. Over here is going to give us something else. So let's go to release compound path. So I released. What happened when I released compound path? So she says, in this case, I would trace and then add color. But it's vector. What we tracing for? We got to know when to trace and when not to trace, because it wouldn't have made any sense to trace that. How we know if this is something that we should trace or not trace? If you were to simply change the colors. Oh, you know who teaches that? The professor in the 30-day training. How to tell if something is a JPEG or if it is a vector element. If it was a JPEG or a PNG, when you added color, it would have been one big box. The fact that every letter changed lets me know that this is vector and I do not have to trace it in order to modify it. But you have to watch the classes. You have to not be worried about how long the class is, no matter how boring you think the information is, because you just might run into this situation. I teach it a certain way for a specific reason. So we release compound path. When we release compound path, what is different? I'm going to make this whole thing this color. What is different between that top shipmate and that bottom shipmate? Simply because we release compound path. What is different? The openings, exactly. So some people will go in there and change it. This is now an opening, right? Hence why I always teach outside of my design page, because the average person will feel like, okay, if I put it here, I'm just going to make this white, and to them, they're seeing through it. I made it the color of my background. But if you have to, now, if you're just going to print it, maybe that works. If you move it around, you didn't group it together, you're going to leave something behind. If you have to cut it, if you had it set to cut edge versus cut, it's not going to cut out. Now there are a lot of other variables that come into play. Okay. So we released it. That's the only way that we can now click on each individual letter to change it. But when we get here, in order to have that cutout be cut out, you got to go back to make it the same thing that it was before you released. So now you got to make it a compound path to get that opening. But in order to know that and to not see, this is simple, right? This is easy. It's only 2 little areas. But what happens when it's this complicated vector file and you release and you have all of these shapes and it no longer looks like the original picture? Like, whoa, how am I supposed to get this to look like that? There are things that there are certain steps that you have to take. So now on the P, we make it a compound path. The A, we make it a compound path. This is teaching you. People keep saying, well, I want to learn more about compound paths. What's compound path? What's the difference? This shows you 3 different examples of compound path and how they're going to be used in a design. Because it's not just, it's not one, it's not flat, it's not one-sided. There's going to be several different instances where compound path comes into play. So now that we've made that a compound path, we're going to go in, I'm going to finish filling this in with color, right? But let's say I wanted to fill this in with a pattern. Let's see. Actually, this one is probably going to give me everything because, okay, you know what? Let's do, okay, hold on. Everything here is the same size, so it's not going to be any different. So let me make this one bigger. And I'm going to fill that in with the pattern, right? So it's somewhat of the same pattern, but if we look at this one and this one, the size of the pattern is different here than it is here. But if I make them a compound path, the shape now matches. That had nothing to do with cutouts, the middle of something. That had everything to do with making the pattern match. And it's not big in one area, small somewhere else. So that's a totally different function. So if all you have ever learned about compound paths is to release compound path so that you can change the color. Well, this had nothing to do with color. It had to do with patterns. You'll sit there and without that knowledge, you're going to click on it. You're going to go over here to your fill tool and you're going to, so this is 100%. If I click on this, this is also 100. Oops, hold on. This is 100% scale. This is also 100% scale, but they are not the same. So then you would have to go and figure out how big to make this to maybe get it to match and look the same. This is now one. Hold on. I don't know what the cleaning lady is spraying, but that ish is choking me. So I don't understand how she is breathing that stuff in. Whatever she sprayed is choking me. And I have water in my eyes. Oh my God, that stuff is strong. How she must be having on a mask over there. Oh Lord. Woo, that is some strong cleanser. My God. Oh my goodness. Hold on, y'all. Woo. Whatever she sprayed literally has my eyes watering. Oh, Jesus. Is the 30-day course pre-recorded? So it was recorded in front of a live Zoom audience. So the first initial run of it was done live. So you get to experience the questions that the students had. There are times where they have shared their screen because they, so you're seeing the perspective of someone who's very new to it, what they see, how they're visualizing the screen. Maybe you're having some of the same issues with your computer. So it is an unedited recording of the live session, and you now get access to watch that at your own pace whenever you have time available. What happens when you scale it and you see the lines? Is that because of the compound path? No. So once you scale it and you are able to see lines, depending on how big or small you're making it and how that pattern was set up, there is an endpoint to that. And it may not be this completely seamless pattern, or there may have been some small pixelations along the edges of it because it wasn't a high resolution like image. So you are seeing the tiles. So with this one, it is a completely seamless pattern. It is going to repeat itself, and it is right next to each other. So no matter how big or small I make it, you're never going to see the lines of it. Now, if I were to use something, let's say like this one, it's not seamless. There is a beginning and an end. There is a stopping point. So if you were to scale this up, you would not see, went to the wrong thing. Oh, come on. So like with this one, let's see how this one is. So if I go down on this one, that sounds so nasty. So we'll get to a point. It is seamless, but it's showing you where they create, like, so when they were in Illustrator and they were creating this seamless pattern, how big their box was. So zoomed out, you can really see those lines. Zoomed in, you're not going to see them. And they technically should not print because it should be seamless. But if you are zoomed out, you are going to see those lines. If we go here to the wood one, you're going to see those lines of demarcation. If we go here, it's the same as you're seeing here. It's just that this is not seamless. There is a starting and stopping point, and that's going to be, you're going to visually be able to see that more so than the seamless patterns. That was a great question. But yeah, so that's one of the things, when it comes to compound path. And then like the last one for compound, like on the compound path, the worksheet is, so rings and how to create those. Now I always screw this up, but it worked out great. I think the worksheet that you guys get is set up correctly. Mine is always set up wrong. So I'm going to release compound path and don't mind me. I'm over here working magic. Okay. Oh, y'all couldn't see over here anyway. These technically look the same. Once again, I do a lot of optical illusions in this course, in this training. So I set this one back up. These technically look the same. Okay. But they are very much so different. This is a ring. These are all rings. Well, how are these rings created? There's more than one way to do it. So I can go over here and I can go subtract all. It looks like nothing has changed on these, but I have the rings. Well, what if I screwed up and I didn't want one of them to be a ring? Well, we're going to click on that, release compound path, and then simply weld it, right? If you did not know subtract, the way to make this would be still from compound paths. So I'm going to select everything here. But this is how we did it in class. You select everything. You hold down shift. I'm going to click the outside ring, and I'm going to go copy, and I'm going to go paste in front. It's going to look like nothing changed. I'm going to click on this is solid, and my orange, and I'm going to make it a compound path. Again, looks like nothing changed, but this is now a ring. I'm going to click here, hold down shift, click on the yellow, make it a compound path. Ring. And I'm going to keep doing that. You can't, now this is a situation where in the class, because when I say select the green, hold down shift and select the blue, or select the next one, we had a bunch of students that, okay, I want to do it the way that I've always done. I want to drag and select. Well, if we drag and select and make it a compound path, they were getting this. Mine doesn't look like yours. Oh, well, why doesn't it look like mine? Share your screen. Let me see what you did. Oh, you're dragging and selecting. Is that what the instructor said to do? No. The instructor told you or instructed you guys to click, hold down shift, click on the next color. That way you were selecting only those two elements, because when we right clicked and copied and pasted in front, we added another layer on top. So we're just selecting the one that's going to give us the ring when we make it a compound path. If I move this, there is another one there. So if I select it and I make it a compound path, it becomes all one, and we don't have the opening, and we lost our original. But had we click, hold down shift, click on the middle one, and make it a compound path, it looks like nothing has changed, but this is a ring and this is still intact. It is important to follow the instructions in the class. Really listen to what I'm saying and how to select. Yes, I teach about drag and select. We have a whole worksheet for that. But dragging and selecting is different than clicking, holding down shift and click. Depending on the results that you want, there are steps that you're going to have to take. It is not universal. Designing is not universal. Selecting something is not universal. Making something a compound path is not universal. But if no one ever introduces you to the rest of the universe, the rest of the galaxy of designing, you're not going to know why when you select it, you're going to be like, like Glow over here, spending 5 hours trying to fix something that didn't need to be fixed. You just had to understand how it works. If your desire is to understand how it works, I don't know why you don't have the 30-day training on your dashboard. If you want to know how it works, I guarantee you no other class will ever teach you how it works. They're just going to teach you how to use it, how to create a design from it. Okay, well, I guess I'm done for the day because I'm talking to myself at this point. So I thank you guys so very much for your time. If you desire to enroll in the training, it is available on our website. All trainings are buy one, get one, 50% off. You can find those over on shop.hsinc365.com. If you buy an Honestly Speaking product, let's say you only need one class, but you need some ink, some paper, you can purchase that and you can get it for 60% off. One class for 60% off. All you have to do is buy an Honestly Speaking product because it is HS Ink month. Our anniversary is on the 28th this month. I'm super excited for that. So we have like a week, really pretty much like almost Monday. It'll be a full week until HS Ink Day. You are very welcome, Crystal. Esmeralda, you are very welcome. Incredible greetings, Shawnee D. All right. Well, thank you guys so very much. Until next time. How long is the 30-day class? Do you mean how long is each session? Because the 30-day class is 30 days. Every single day for 30 days, you will learn something different. Each class, though, depending on the information in the class and the participation in the class, can vary in time for each session. But the training itself is taught over 30 days. Okay, so for each session is going to range anywhere from an hour, and there are some days, the weekend days, which are the heavy hitter tools and functions. Some of them were 3 hours long because some of them we had bonus sessions afterwards, but we really go over. We do not rush it. Every class is set for at least 1 hour. And then on the weekend, those were set for like 2-hour sessions because it was, it's the weekend. Those who were attended live had more time to do things hands-on. We did bonus sessions. People shared their screens. So some of the sessions are a little bit longer. But every single day is a different tool, different function, features and benefits of the upgrades, preferences, shortcuts, and saving, program layout, design page setup and registration marks. It's if you're doing print and cut, but design page setup, you still want to know that because if you are using a machine versus not using a machine, you still need that information. Then the 5th and the 6th were weekend days. So that's what we went over, subtract all. We actually end up doing some of crop and compound path in day 7 because it was a little bit of difficulty and some of my stuff was kind of weird. So we really got through a lot of like just the subtract on day 5, and then subtract all kind of went into day 6. So subtract all and crop. And then day 7 was compound path, weld, and divide. So we kind of had, so between those 3 days, we went over, the modified tools. Then we have a day for just the basics of text. Then we went over text to path. In other softwares, all you can do is curve text and it will round it out. With Silhouette Studio, you have text to path, just like the same way that you can do text to path in Illustrator or even Photoshop. So if you have a star, you can have words go around the star. If it is an outline of a person, you want their name to go around that. You can do text to path and your words will follow that path. So Silhouette Studio offers more than just curving your text. Now, I will say the curve of the text is a little bit, I do like that feature. I wish they would add, like if you just wanted a curve, I do like the way Cricut Design Space has that set up. Really wish we kind of had that. But you can do so much more in Silhouette Studio. So we go over text to path and I show you all of the different paths that you can make it fit. You can push it away, bring it in, like you can push it out, bring it in, you can space it. You can do so much more. In Cricut Design Space, you can't really do all of those things. In Canva, you can't do all of those things, okay? Then we go over your fill tool. You would think that, oh, it's just a fill, you fill it with color. No. There are so many little nuggets in understanding your fill tool, your gradients, and your patterns. So much to that, to that tool and function. Day 12 and 13 are weekend days. So we go over the basics of tracing. I break down if you have line art versus colored art, if it's this way, if it's that way, understanding the different. So I'll show you that worksheet real quick. I break down oh, this was your first time on my platform? Well, welcome, welcome. I am doing my best to be live and present on TikTok a little bit more. I have been doing Facebook and YouTube for the past 9 years. I have hundreds and hundreds of videos on my YouTube channel. But I am trying to do more over here on TikTok and introduce you guys, to a side of silhouette that most people don't see. Because a lot of people think that silhouette is very one-sided, and it's not. You can do things on a professional level in Silhouette Studio. Okay, let me see. Coloring book, basic tracing. Where is my master tracing? I have a master one. Oh, that's not the one I want. Oh, haha, there it is. Right next to it. There we go. So this is my master one, but I don't give all of this to you in one because you'll be like, wait, huh? But this is where I was selecting all of my images. And each one of these represents something different when it comes to tracing. So this is a lot, right? There's different techniques, different things for trace. All of these can be traced, but you have to understand what type of tracing can be done. Which ones can be traced to fill in with color and isolate colors, and which ones can only be a trace and detach. Some are JPEGs, some are PNGs, some are filled with color already, some are not, some are just line art. There's the one where it's a black outline around it. You have the one that has the checkerboard around it. I strategically chose images that had like little things touching it. So like on the Minnie Mouse, we go through erasing that first so that it improves your trace. Even though we have the Mickey, the difference in somebody who's brand new is going to want to put their trace box around the whole thing. But when it's trying to pick up, like they're adjusting and looking at everything, they might be looking at this down here and want to increase their threshold because they're trying to capture this, but you're not even going to use this. So although it may seem minute, it's someone telling you that it's okay to put your trace box right here and only focus on this section. That way you can increase your threshold to get you can make your threshold the perfect setting to make sure that it traces properly. But if all you ever see is someone put a box around the whole thing, you're never going to know the benefits of really refining your trace box. These are the things that we teach in that 30-day training. So every last one of these images was strategically selected. Even if you look at like here and here, they were made from the same file, but how you trace them and and how you can use it afterwards is different for each one of those. So I break this down into different tracing categories. And we go over each of the tracing worksheets, which is why that one is a little bit longer. And then we have the ones for trace and detach, which this is all we need all of this just to teach tracing. And so the trace and detach one, no, not that one. I'm thinking of the manual trace with the edit points. That's the one with the unicorn. So yeah, the master one did have the trace and detach, because some of these you will never be able to trace it to isolate the colors. You can only trace and detach. See, someone says, I get it now. Yeah, like even if it's just that, like I'm learning now to show not just tracing, but this is an image that I want that you guys are gonna see this come up a lot, because this represents so much. Like this shows just a fraction of about the skill of tracing. Because when you get into stuff that have a background, all of that, like it changes again. So I'm glad that that visual helped you, Crystal, because that reaffirms to me that I am on the right track, and I'm going to show this a lot. I'm going to show that particular image a lot. That 30-day is great, detailed, and informative. I must say I follow a lot of craft classes, and your classes are definitely top tier. Hi, Marilyn. How are you? Love the way you explain. You made it easier. And I'm telling you, that 30-day training makes it even easier. It's even easier. So this class is already on our website, guys. It is available for purchase right now. You literally can go on the site. If you purchase it by itself, I want to say it's like 20% off. But of course, it's buy one, get one 50% off, to where you'll essentially get 25% off. So you'll save extra 5% if you get it with another class. If you purchase an Honesty Speaking product combined with this, you're going to get it for 60% off. But it's already there. You enroll today, you can literally start learning as like within about 15-20 minutes, because you got to create your account wait to get the email to create your account. Now, if you want to start learning immediately, you would go to 365createacademy.com and create a free account with the same email address that you would use over here. And as soon as you purchase it, it will be on your dashboard. If you don't have a free account on 365creativeacademy.com, once you purchase your class, you have to wait a few minutes. You're going to get an email. It normally goes to like your promotions, your spam, your junk, somewhere in there. And it's going to be an express sign up email. You must go through that email to complete the sign up process. Or before you purchase any classes, go to 365 Creative Academy, create that free account, come back to the main site, purchase your classes so that you get the discount, and they will automatically show up on your dashboard. I brought your fade mask. How do I make the cloudy edges? So when it comes to the fade mask, they're just colors. They are not like Photoshop where you're using it to fade off the edges. It has to blend in with a background color so that it looks seamless. So I'm going to go over here to, let's go. But there is a video that breaks down the fade bars and how they can be beneficial and how you would use them. Let's go to I don't know if her senior crown shows it. That's what I'm over here playing with. Fade away. Yeah, in Photoshop, it's a little bit different than how you would use it in Silhouette Studio. The 30-day training retail, like just the regular cost, is $103.65. $103.65. But you can, right now, you're able to save 20%, an additional 20% on this, or 25% if you combine it with a product with another class, or save 60% on it if you combine it with a, honestly speaking, sublimation product, honestly speaking, products such as sublimation paper, sublimation ink, pigment ink. No, okay. So let's see. Okay. So for here, this is the fade bar, right? This doesn't necessarily blend it into where it looks faded like into it, because this is still solid. But I used pink, and when it's here, it creates this gradient from solid pink, and then it fades off to where it's masking off the bottom of half of her body. It's behind the mask, and then it, because it goes transparent, you now see the regular pink background. Now, if I were to make this background pink instead of the pattern, I'm going to go over to my fill tool, select the eyedropper, and select this same pink. It will look still like it's fading, but it's not. It's just a mask over it. And this works because it goes like it has a stopping point. So if I had, let's say, a box, and this represents like a white shirt, unless you're using white to mask it off so that it doesn't print, if you put that pink over it, you're going to see this line of pink. So it's not really fading it off. Like if this is pink, it looks like it's faded off, but it's not. Make sense? So that's why it's just called a masking. It doesn't actually fade anything off, and it's not great for like edges of shapes. It's just to kind of fade off the bottom and or to create your own custom gradients. Ooh, that's almost like what's that, AKA? Let's go like right here. So it just kind of, you can make soft looks like that. Okay, so if all of them have a hard edge, that means this is not directed at you, but this is for anyone who has purchased the fade mask. For anyone that has purchased the fade mask, I'm going to come back over here to Essentials. We're going to go to the fade mask. We're going to go to Read More. And when using the fades in Silhouette Studio version 4.4, the Auto PNG Trace feature will distort the actual PNG files and make them a solid blob. To use the fades in Silhouette Studio version 4.4, which now it's 4.5 also, you must use the included Studio 3 version. The Studio 3 version has all of the colors in one file. You will select the color you want and copy and paste it into the file you are working on. So that means when you open it up, because of that auto PNG trace, 4.4 or 4.5 has auto PNG trace. If you love the auto PNG trace and you want to leave that on, you leave it on, and you have to use the other file. Or if you turn off the auto PNG trace, it won't come in as a blob. But if you are using the PNG trace, I'm going to go fade mask. And this is how it comes up. And it has all of these colors. But there is a silhouette file. And it says fades. And you're going to double click on that. And that, because it was saved from an older version, even in 4.4 or 4.5, the fades will open up with the actual faded edge. They will all come in like this. And you would copy, paste. And it won't have the harsh lines. Okay. All right, y'all. Especially over here, the numbers are dropping. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.